David Grana with Aliyah Media, and I'm sitting here with David Sable, the CEO of Y&R, one of the largest ad agencies in the world. David, thank you so much for joining us today.
My honor. Thank you for inviting me.
So I'm curious to know as to why the CEO of one of the largest marketing communications company is at a technology conference.
Well, everything that we do today is somehow related to technology, and so one has to stay on top of all the new developments, all the ins and outs. This is a great place to be. There are a lot of startups here. There are a lot of people who invest in startups. There are a lot of other companies that are utilizing technology from different startups in different areas, so I'm here to learn and to listen.
In your career, how has the advertising industry and how does the marketing communications industry changed, particularly with regards to the technologies that we've seen introduced over the last decade to 20 years?
Well, I'll actually go back further and say that advertising has always changed because of technology. So printing at one time became more and more interesting and more complex as we went from just plain black and white to 4-color. Then we had radio, huge innovation, television, major innovation, cinema, big innovation, and now we have digital media. So we've always been at the forefront of innovation and change in how the stories get distributed. And the way we look at the market is very simple. There's creativity, which is telling the story, creating the story. That's always going to be the same. We're always going to be telling stories. We still tell the stories of the Bible and the Quran and Harry Potter and Shakespeare and Hamlet and whatever else. So story is always going to be important. Innovation to us is how we distribute the story. So if radio was once an innovation, today Facebook is an innovation. So you have to know how to use it. You have to understand the user's feeling towards it, how the user uses it, the reaction that the user has to it, etc. And then there's technology. So technology today gives us better tools to target, although we always targeted now much better, and it gives us tools to interact within these innovations to attach to our stories. So it's very important to be on top of all of these things.
Now, technology has really driven down the price point to be able to get messages out to the masses. What impact has that had on strategy, on the strategy of your company, of Y&R's, and also other media agencies out there?
Well, the issue is really not the price as much as it's just the vast amount of options that exist for people. So before, if we had 3 television stations or 6 or 10, today you have an infinite number of places that your ad can appear because, as you know, online ads follow you around. So it's had a huge impact on us because cost-wise it's had a huge impact on us from the point of view that people are listening less. So when I got into the business, people were talking about there were way too many ads. There was a glut. Today, if there was a glut when I first came in, I don't even know what to call it today. There's a flood. There's a tsunami.
Now, you'd made some interesting comments related to how the game is going to change with relation to advertising for a lot of other companies. You did mention one in particular, Netflix. You said Netflix may at some point consider adopting advertising as part of its platform.
Well, it's actually stronger. I made a bet that they would. And the reason is that if you think about it, so Netflix is spending about $8 billion this year on production. And it's pretty amazing. I mean, it's a lot of money. There's also a lot of production. At some point, their model is broken because they can't keep investing all this money. Right now, they've got good cash reserves, and they are increasing the size of their platform. But either they're going to raise their prices to a crazy place, or they're going to give you the option of watching some advertising to push back the costs a bit. And so people will do it. They'll take it. Just look at games. How many of the games that you play, whether it's Angry Birds or anything else, have now advertising built into the game as part of the process? Because so you could wait an extra 20 minutes until your life is back, or spend $1 and get it. So hundreds of thousands of people are spending that $1, and so I think that we're going to see the same thing on the advertising, on the broadcast side.
Now we're at this is an Israeli technology conference. There's obviously an Israeli connection here on a personal level. Tell us what that connection is.
So I have dual citizenship. I am a born American, but I lived in Israel for a number of years. I served in the Israeli army, so I'm a very proud Israeli as well.
And how does it feel to be amongst other fellow Israelis, although it's your adopted country, but how does it feel to be at this conference and to be fraternizing with your countrymen?
Well, I see them all the time, so it's nothing new for me. I do like being able to speak Hebrew from morning to night, so that's kind of fun. But it's a sense of pride because this is our technology.
Excellent. Thank you so much for your time. We really appreciate your comments.
My honor.